Greetings, Goddess. This is the full moon wisdom sharing that I'm offering to you all. I am excited about this first full moon in 2026. It's a beautiful moon. It is a Cancer full moon, and just want to share a little bit with you some insights that I think would be helpful to you with this moon. Thank you to all of you who are here, who are part of the Soul Alchemy membership, one to one coaches, and part of my Inspired Goddess group and Mighty Networks. If you are on my email list, if you're on YouTube or looking on my blog, listening on my podcast, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I just appreciate you. So, yeah, I want to talk a little bit about this full moon in Cancer. Now, I want to just start off by saying I don't want you to feel like you have to sit and watch this video. Just go on about your day. You can listen as you do whatever it is that you are doing. And if you are watching the video, there may be times I share my screen, but for the most part, I'm making this as if you all are not going to be watching a video. So today is the full moon, excuse me, January 3rd at 5:03 in the morning, if I have that correct. Yes, 5:03 Eastern Time. The moon will be full in Cancer. I always love this Cancer full moon at the top of the year. Maybe because I've just been learning astrology. I mean, I had a few years where I've been learning astrology with things being pretty rough. And so it feels so healing to have this Cancer new moon at the top of each year. It makes me feel held and cared for and nurtured. And I hope that that's how it makes you feel also. So this moon is at 13 degrees and 2 minutes of Cancer. Now, whenever we have a full moon, expect there to be a revelation of some sort. And I do believe that this moon will have a lot of revelations in it. Um, and the other thing that I think is the revelations will be very internal. There are three planets that are invisible because they're close to the sun, and those are Mercury, Venus, and Mars, all planets that they affect us personally, our day-to-day operations. And so whenever they're invisible, that means that they're very close to the sun. They are all four in Capricorn: Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, all four in Capricorn. And so um, they're all close, which means when planets are invisible, they are pretty much taking time to get inspired in wisdom and to be there in consultation, the way it is described in astrology, with the king. And that means that whenever a planet is invisible, we are looking more internally. And a Cancer moon is one that will be more internal anyway. Cancer is our emotions, our feelings, it's that inner world, to a certain degree, the subconscious mind. And so a lot of this moon is, I think, going to be us doing a lot of self-reflection, revelations coming through to us about things that are happening on the inside. I think that this moon is helping us. Number one, there's a little bit of a balance that we all need to be looking at. Like, where do we need to be more balanced, especially when it comes to, for some of us, it's home versus career. Some of us may be working way too much, and this moon may be saying, hey, things are out of balance and you need to get that in balance. This is a very ancestral, we call it an axis, with Cancer and Capricorn being 180 degrees from one another. And so there could be something that we need to get in balance around family, and this moon will be highlighting that. And or it could be a culmination. So if it's not a revelation, it could be a culmination, something is ending. Now, endings aren't always bad because it could be that something is manifesting. You've been working on it and now it has come into fruition, it's come into the physical realm. And so be looking for that. And yeah, it's a time to celebrate and take stock. Just because the new year has already started doesn't mean that we can't still be taking stock of the previous year. And as we take stock of the previous year, it provides a foundation and wisdom to help guide us into the upcoming year. Inside of the Soul Alchemy membership, as well as a tool that I share with my coachees, I shared what we call the annual compass, set your compass exercise, where you look back at 2025 and just take stock and celebrate, and then taking what you've learned go into 2026 as well as setting goals. So I think that this moon can help with that as well as helping to set the vision for 2026. I wrote in my newsletter, okay, we have the calendar new year, we have the lunar new year, we also have Imbolc as well as the spring equinox. And it's just good to baby step our way to the vision. And so I think that for 2026, the vision could be coming through with this moon. You could be finding out some goals, but some of it is about you and some things that need to happen with you. Now, Cancer is very healing. And within this moon, there is 3 other planets. It has to do with the degree. The degree is always not planets, signs. The degree always gives 3 signs, and it gave me Cancer, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. And so that Sagittarius being a part of it, there is something in this moon that can help you with goal setting and intention setting. But Capricorn wants to have a plan. But the nature of this moon may be you're not fully thinking about this plan, but the plan comes to you. You're able to intuit the plan. But what are we planning for? Sagittarius, goals. Okay. So these are things that I want you to be looking for with this moon always. What is the revelation? Another thing about this moon is it's interacting with what we call the nodes of the moon. And the nodes of the moon are how we get the eclipses. And so it's interacting with Pisces as well as Virgo. I believe this moon is either going to heal you or it is going to give you an understanding of what needs to happen in order for you to heal. I think that there is the inner part of us, the healing beginning in our soul, in our minds, and in our emotions. Cancer is all about emotional healing. And so we want to be seeing what are we being called to do to heal the inner world. And if you subscribe to the world that we experience is really from the inside out, then it makes sense that if we are in a need to heal, then it's not just working on the physical body, which Virgo does want us to do. Virgo wants us to, you know, be healthier and have routines. And so this moon could be showing where you have bad habits, where whatever you've been doing, it's just not working. We have to remember we live in a world that is governed by cycles, and sometimes something is in and sometimes, it's out. A good example for me, I used to be a hardcore workout type person, and I would work out all the time, and it was truly I just loved working out. It made me feel so happy and so good, and I could work out very, very hard. Well, at some point It's not that I need to give up working out, but I needed to give up working out like that. It was I got to a point of no re not, diminishing returns. And so once I got into that new cycle, I had to develop new habits and new ways of exercising. So I believe that we are being called to see what is it that we need to shift and change around that. However, uh, do not think for one moment that we can fully make these changes without creating a change from the inside out. One of the things that we may have to do is look at our belief system, and maybe it needs an upgrade. Maybe this moon is going to show us how the belief system that we have is no longer working for us, or how we need to evolve it in some kind of way. Sagittarius is like the life philosophy. So it could be something around health and well being. Um, but just know also, just all around life philosophy. With Venus being there, maybe we're examining some of our values and seeing which values do we keep, which values do we upgrade, which ones do we discard altogether. So there's a lot of internal work, I think, that we will be doing at this moon. And a lot of it does have to do with healing from the inside out. But the other thing is, the moon is always intuitive. It almost doesn't matter what sign it's in, but I can tell you a Cancer moon is highly intuitive. It also has Scorpio in there, which is another water sign. That brings in a deep level of sight. The Scorpio intuition sees into darkness. It's like X-ray vision. And the Cancerian intuition is this knowing. It's like that mother wit, trust your gut. But then there is those planets. I'll just even say all the planets over there in Pisces. And so there's a high level of intuition happening in this moon. We have Jupiter in Cancer. And so it could be that you have this trusting your gut and something is coming to you, or the Cancer energy allows you to, it's like pierce the darkness and see through something, where it's like you have eyes that light up in the dark and you can just see things that nobody else can see. Now, some of this might be you're looking at the wounding on the inside, because we can't get away from that with Cancer. Excuse me, Scorpio. We can't get away from it. It is truly a sign that is like, hey, this is the trauma, this is the hurt, this is the pain, and we want to get that healed up. So, again, bringing in that healing energy, and then that Piscean energy is more of being able to see even beyond the physical realm. And so I do believe that this moon will be, maybe people will be dreaming quite a bit. There will be so much um, spiritual wisdom coming to people, intuitive hits, those kinds of things. Um, and a lot of it, though, will be about you personally, you. The other thing that I'll share is it could be something is coming up around healing your ancestral lineage. A lot of us don't realize how much some of our issues stem from our ancestors, and we just don't realize it. It's something that's being repeated, handed down in the ancestral lineage, the ancestral DNA. And perhaps we're here to heal it, but if we don't realize it, it just feels like, oh crap, I have this problem. So I do believe it can bring healing to the ancestral lineage, to families also. But there is this energy of Capricorn, which is sort of no nonsense, practical, get real. So it could be a little bit of, like, yeah, we're going to just see things for what they really are when it comes to the family. Or I'm going to see things for what they really are when it comes to me. Because we have to remember, Capricorn wants you to be successful. Capricorn wants you to have a plan, be successful, take a tried and true path, And maybe this moon is like, hey, we have something that we need to take care of, but we need to get ourselves together emotionally. We need to make sure that our emotions are healed up enough that it can handle this hard work that we're going to have to do here in Capricorn. Um, Cancer is all about the home. And so maybe there's going to be something that is where you're hyper focused on place of living. Some people may be moving, some people may be doing upgrades, some people may be finding a way to be hyper focused on the home. Cancer is always about nurturing yourself. And so I think that that's something that's really important, as in particular as a practice for the moon. What can you do to care for yourself? I do believe that it will be a highly emotional moon. I think that people will be nostalgic and wanting to be with family. And don't be surprised if some people are extra weepy, especially our Cancerian friends. They may be extra weepy at this moon. Mm, yeah, I'm gonna stand by that. I was going to say with Capricorn having those 4 planets, there still will be something where it's just like, "Drop those tears. No crying." Capricorn, it doesn't mean to hurt you, but man, it is definitely rough. It's rough. Okay, let's see here. Mm. So, because we have Mars and Venus right there with the moon, in astrology, that's called conjunct. They're right there together. This moon is highlighting a new beginning that is to come. And this is setting off a 2-year cycle. Every year that every year, excuse me, every 2 years, Mars and the sun meet in a new sign. I remember when I first noticed this, it was in Virgo. And sure enough, every time they meet and they're on the same degree, in that particular sign, it will be a highlight, a focus for all of us. And so this time it is Capricorn and Venus is there also. And so there's some new beginning that I think we'll be able to see. And please know that whatever it brings up, it will be lasting for about 2 years. Um, and so this moon is going to be highlighting that. I think I'll just come back and talk more about that conjunction in a different video because it will make this video super long. But please understand that we have a powerful new beginning that lies ahead in your life, in the people that you know, in society. Okay. Now, with Mars being there, one of the things that we will be able to see perhaps is how can we be more focused? Maybe how can we channel our passion or be in touch with our passion? Maybe we need to see what our passion is, and it's going to help us understand what it is that we need to do. And then Mars is a fighting planet, and so it could have something to do with how you need to fight or advocate in some kind of way. It's bringing up that topic also. Now, Mars being there, there could be some type of fight going on, an argument. I always tell people whenever Mars is there, is it worth it? Is it really worth the fight? Because other people will be ready to go. But if you're like, I know this is a full moon and this can bring up a fight, not going there. I'll talk to you in a couple of days. That might be a good plan if it's not worth it. And then with Venus being there, it will I mentioned bringing up it bring up values, but also relationship topics and money topics. So something could be highlighted around those. Also with Venus being there, it's just another addition that could make this a very emotional moon. You may feel like studying history during this time. Let's see here. Yeah, you may feel like studying history or studying your ancestral lineage. You may learn something about your ancestral lineage during this time. And let's see here. Yes, I think I've given most. Oh, okay. So one more thing. Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. They're not a part of the moon in terms of degrees, but during this full moon, they are all interacting with each other. And so I think that this moon is going and it's a beneficial way that they're operating with one another. So I think that this moon can bring some type of blessing to society because these are all social planets. And as the society, has something beneficial happening, then it will be passed on to us. But there is some level of blessing and protection, could be ancestral, could be something connected to the earth. Um, you could potentially, it could be, it's like a miracle is happening. And again, it could be happening on the social level. And though it may not be directly impacting you, in some kind of way, we will all benefit from this. And actually, it's something that is given back to you because these planets are either moving direct after being retrograde or they're retrograde. So it's some blessing that is coming back on the social level. Okay. So goddesses that you can work with, Cancer is always any mother form of the goddess. So I always start off with Yemoja, Maya, Aset, Isis, Newt, Saraswati, Atabi, mm, yeah, any goddess that is the mother face of the goddess is one that you can work with. One of the things that we can do to work with the moon is use different colors. And so for Cancer, I encourage you to put on pink as well as colors of the ocean. If you want some scents to work with, jasmine, lavender, rosemary, grapefruit, and chamomile. Those are all very soothing scents to work with. I just think it's important that we just be open with this moon. In mindfulness, one of the things we talk about is non-striving. Non-striving is great. Just allow yourself to be immersed in this energy and just see what comes to you. Crystals, moonstone, citrine, rose quartz. I have others. You can look them up, but I'll just give those three so as to not be, um, yeah, I don't want to wear y'all out in the ear. So what I want to do is now go through the signs and let's talk about what this moon means for each sign. So I'm going to start with um, our favorite. Pulling them up. Aries. We're going to start with Aries. So for Aries, this moon is, yeah, I think for Aries, especially with you being um, a fire sign, hey, just be ready. This thing could be very emotional. Okay. And just pretty much everything that I've described up to this point is um, what I think you need to be thinking about. Something foundational. Maybe there's something that is being highlighted for you about who you are foundationally, because that's what Cancer represents. It could be representing something about the mom, and or self-care, nurturance, and maybe you need to get more of it. And maybe you're looking at moving. This moon could be giving you some thoughts about where you're going to live and or what do you want to do with your home? And yeah, it can really bring up a lot around family, familial topics. Not necessarily bad, but you may have your mind focused on all things family. But definitely look at how are you going to take care of yourself and um maybe this would be a good time for you to take a nice bath. And if you want, go get your nails done. Go do something where somebody loves on you and cares for you. I will say, cancer does have to do with food, so you may be extra snacky during this full moon. To be honest with you, so yeah, that's what I have for Cancer. And next is and pardon all the paper sounds, but I never trust my brain to go in the right direction on this circle. Okay, so next is Taurus. So let me change the thing. Yeah. So for Taurus, this is happening in your third house. Now, the third house is one where it's very much about the mind. And so you will have a lot of mental like, your insights will be a lot in the mind or about your mind, about your mental health, mindfulness practices and meditation, nervous system. All of these are things that you may want to be thinking about or that may be coming through for you. Also, local community and day-to-day routines and how you get out and about. For some of the Tauruses, you may be looking at traveling, and it could just be bringing up topics around that. Maybe you feel like you don't travel enough. You want to get out and travel. It's about friends, and maybe you want to hang more with your friends, and it just brings up more need for connection. It also could be revealing something to you around business and communication, social media. Maybe some of the Tauruses have been writing something and now it's going to be completed and you'll be excited about it. And it also is about learning and teaching. And so maybe some of the Tauruses will say, hey, I want to go take a workshop. I want to learn something new, or you want to teach it. And it will be helping you to come up with a plan and really just start doing things to put it in place. Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I have for Taurus. Now, for Gemini, this is happening in your second house. So, whenever we have a planet or a full moon in the second house, it will highlight topics around your personal finances, money, self worth, self value. All of those become very prominent. And maybe some of the Geminis are thinking more about that. Like, maybe it's like, no, I want more money. But then I'm looking at myself and it's like, I don't have enough self-worth or something like that. So, those topics are always at the forefront. You could become snacky too, Gemini, because Cancer is a foodie planet and it's connected to emotions. Maybe something that's coming up for some of the Geminis is emotional eating, and your need to address that. But it does bring up food topics, and so maybe some of the Geminis are thinking about how they're eating and what do they want to eat and doing something different, something new, maybe something more beneficial around food, as well as self-care because the second house has to do with self-care. So please take good care of yourself. And, if you haven't been, pay attention to what the moon is sharing with you, Gemini, so that you can really give yourself what you deserve, which is this beautiful nurturance and caring energy. This is also about personal value, possessions, material possessions. And so it may be that you manifest something during this moon, or you may just be looking at your stuff and thinking, it doesn't reflect me anymore. I want an upgrade, or I need to do a better job of organizing it. Something about material possessions could be at the forefront. This is also about collections and history. So if you have antiques, it could be bringing up something around your antiques or things that you collect, as well as you may really be into listening to history and studying more about your family. This is house where you, to a certain degree, you may not feel like you want to do a lot. You may feel like, I just want to eat just a little bit of chocolate, just like this guilty, simple pleasure, and just kind of lay around and chill out for a little while. So that could be something that comes up for you during this moon, Gemini. And next we have Cancer. Cancer, you are the sign of the moon. I was gonna say the hour, but of the moon. So, yeah, Cancer, this is your full moon, and it can really it can reveal quite a bit to you about your life and maybe the direction that you want it to go, especially with that Sagittarius energy in there. I will say Scorpio is a sign because it's a part of this 13th degree for this moon. It's a sign that has to do with strategy, and so it could be bringing up quite a bit with strategy towards your goal, and that will be revealed to you. But I do believe, in NLP, which is called neuro linguistic programming, we talk about how we all have inner strategies. We may not see them as such, but we all have inner strategies. There's a strategy for how we make decisions to make a purchase or not, decisions about or strategies around relationships. And, I never thought about it until this moment, but sometimes I know people's strategies and I can talk about them because of your signs. And my goal is to help you to feel comfortable with the strategies that are beneficial, but maybe other people, give you a little bit of a pushback on it. But yeah, inner strategies. This moon could really be helping you to look at those strategies and come up with, maybe some new strategies that you need to have about how you make decisions and how you're moving forward. You just made you it just could come through like, this big neon sign like, hey, look at what happened in this situation. So let's come up with a new strategy because what we did before, that's not going to work next time. So, yeah, it could definitely give you quite a bit of insight about yourself, about your health, your well being, your body, your appearance, because that's what the first house is about. Um, and because of that new beginnings energy in Capricorn, there's definitely a chance that you could experience some new beginning even just right here at this new moon, especially when it comes to relationships and contracts, agreements, legal affairs, those kinds of things. Or a new relationship shows up, or you get into a new phase in your relationship. So you could be very emotional, Cancer, but you are an emotional sign, and so, you probably would be good with the emotion. Trust your gut, trust your intuition, Cancer. Okay. All right. Next is Leo. Leo, this is happening in your 12th house, and you could be emotional. All of the fire signs could be very emotional because these are happening in what we call water houses. And so you could be just feel all in your feelings, and, it's okay. It's totally okay. Transits come and transits go. Once the moon is gone, you'll be moved on past, the emotion. But, yeah, definitely this moon could be revealing something that is deep inside of you, maybe something hidden and you didn't know it was there, like a stuck emotion, a memory that you just didn't have, you don't have a memory of it, but now it's come back. And whenever we have something that has been suppressed and it rises up, what it wants to do is help us to Um, we have the capacity to deal with it, okay? We have the capacity to deal with it. So, if something comes up and it feels like, "Oh my gosh, this is," so I remember this memory is so harsh and or hurtful or whatever, it's coming up for you to, address and heal because the subconscious mind, which is the 12th house in astrology, its main objective is to protect you, is to keep you safe, to keep you alive, and if something happens where the subconscious mind thinks, "Oh, she can't handle it," then it will take that thing and suppress it deep down in the subconscious so that you can survive. And then because a lot of times what needs to happen is it's like something happened and we couldn't do anything about it. And when it brings it back up, it's like, hey, now we can do something about this. It's past. We can say, hey, we made it, or acknowledge that we were hurt by it and, realize that there's a lesson in the wound or do some healing work or whatever it is that we need to do in order to release that wound and move on. And so yeah, this could be a moon where you're looking at that. The 12th house is also about sleep, so it could be bringing up topics around sleep. I don't know if you'll sleep with this moon or not. You may not because it's an active moon in the house that, has to do with sleep for you, but maybe you dream a lot. And it also has to do with overspending. So maybe topics are coming up for you, some message for you around overspending. It's about, compassion and humanitarianism, and so maybe that's coming up, maybe you need to have more compassion for yourself. Maybe you need to care for yourself a little bit more and stop being so hard on yourself. Um, it is a house that has to do with endings and loss, and so these topics could be coming up. The 12th house is not an easy house, it just isn't. But you've had Jupiter there since, I think, May. So, these topics have been up for you around endings and loss. And so maybe this is going to bring a salve to you or some kind of way for you to see the big picture and get a lesson and move past it. Okay. But you can use this to be creative and spiritual and do some healing work. Definitely, some of the Leos may feel like they're going to need to do some healing work. Okay. So now it's Virgo. Okay. Virgo. So, this is happening in your 11th house. And I love that for you, Virgo. The 11th house is a lucky house. It is a house that has to do with making progress and goals. So, maybe you'll be thinking, oh, I'm making progress and um something will have manifested and you're like, yay, I manifested this thing, I made some progress. Um It could be you're going to see some new goals revealed to you during this time, and, it's about broadcasting a message, so if any of you, Virgos want to have a podcast or something, it could help you with that. This is about the community, so if you do community work, it could be revealing something to you about the community work, but the thing that I want you to remember is there's something that's revealing to you as it relates to community work, okay? Because remember, this is an internal moon, and you'll be seeing quite a bit of what this is about is something about you. It is about friend groups. So maybe it's bringing up topics to you for you around your friends or maybe finding people who are of like mind, have some similar interest, and you don't necessarily have to put down your friends, but you may just be looking for people who have some similar interest and you want to connect with them. The example I love to use is once I started my business, I needed to connect with people who had businesses. So it didn't mean I needed to put down my friends or anything. I just needed to make new friends, additional friends to who who were doing the same thing. But definitely open yourself up to some good fortune, some good luck coming through. This is the house that has to do with being gainful. So there could be something that is coming to you, some message that's coming to you about being gainful from career. Okay. Now, again, Cancer moon is definitely more of like this internal thing. So it may be something needs to shift inside of you that would open up more of being gainful. Again, I just believe, most of all of life is an inside game. There's the part on the outside of us where everybody else is living their lives, and we take that into account. But most anything that we want in our lives, it takes some internal shift. Okay. Last little bit, Virgo, it could be that you are going to plan a conference, go to a conference, do something techie. Yeah, that could be coming up also for Virgo. Next is Libra. So, Libra, this is happening in your 10th house. And when we have a uh, anything happening in the 10th house, you could find some big shift, change, up level, sh- you know, shift or whatever in career. So this is definitely bringing up career topics for Libras. And you will get some revelation about this. And some of it, Libra, you're very logical, but this may not be logical to you because this is watery energy, intuitive. So it could be something coming to you, but it's like, yeah, you may not be able to prove it, but you just know it. Okay. Some of the Libras out there may be have something to do with real estate, properties, that kind of thing when it comes to careers. So just know some big revelation, culmination, manifestation could be happening in that. This is a house that could be related to family, especially responsibility. So you may be finding that there's more responsibility for you around family with this moon, or maybe you're pondering how responsible you have been with family, and now maybe you need to think about that. Maybe you do need to be super responsible, and maybe you're taking responsibility for something that's not fully yours. And this has to do with what you want to be known for. And so this could definitely be a topic that Libras are thinking about, like, hey, people need to respect me for who I really am, not who they think I am. So that could be coming up for you, but definitely be looking for something being revealed to you around career, reputation, family, and let me see, did I want to say anything else? Responsibility. This could bring a big change for you. Could bring a very big change for you. I also think maybe there's a topic around a balance between home and family for the Libras. Next is Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, I love this for you. This is happening in the ninth house. And the ninth house is another one of those, lucky houses. So, congratulations, and open yourself up to some good fortune coming your way as a result of this full moon. This is the house that has to do with it's spiritual, so you could feel like you're, really thinking about spiritual law and teachings, and just opening yourself up even more, growth and expansion and learning new things, teaching new things. All of these are going to be highlighted for you. Maybe you are going to have an up level in terms of your belief system, and you may want to travel more. You may find out that you're going to be traveling more as a result. Some of the travel will be short trips because that Capricorn house is where all the planets are. But maybe you will be just kind of realizing, whoa, I'm going to be traveling a lot, and maybe it's to teach, maybe it's for work in some kind of way, Scorpio. Um, This has to do with other cultures, so you may find yourself, you know, immersed in other culture. It's very cultural, so something about culture could be coming up, but it's typically world culture or other people's cultures. Now, if you want to publish a book, this could be coming up for you, Scorpio. Publicity, these are topics that could be coming up for you also. And, it could be these are manifesting. Some of the Scorpios have written a book, or you come up with this, idea about how to promote yourself. So, yeah, beautiful house. Happy for you. Oh, this has to do with the teacher. So maybe you're learning something about your teacher. You're finding a teacher, a guru, a master at what they do. This could be something else that comes through for you. Definitely, Scorpio, you can be sort of serious. So maybe this full moon, you're like, "Oh, I feel hopeful. I feel optimistic." You want to forgive people and you're grateful. So make sure you forgive and do your gratitude practice during this transit. You could even get a reframe like, "Oh, this thing used to be so bad and I was so hurt by this." But now you get a reframe as a result of this moon. Enjoy, Scorpio. I'm happy for you. Next is Sagittarius. So, Sag, you're the last fire sign that I will talk about, and I will tell you what I told Aries and Leo. This could be a very emotional moon. It could be deeply healing. The eighth house is very, very healing. Um, it could have you kind of hyper focused on your shadow or something that has happened to you in the past and it feels so hurtful. But it could bring a healing, it could bring some perspective. And you may want to feel more close to people, closely tied, hugging them. And people are going to be like, wait a minute, you never hug us. And you're like, I don't care. I want to hug you today. You could feel that way. Definitely looking at radical self care. You might be saying, ooh, I need to take better care of myself. Also, that 8th house, has to do with strategy and research. Maybe it's like you do deep dives. This moon could have you definitely doing some type of deep dive, Sagittarius. Um, and it has to do with money, other people's money, your spouse or partner's money, your business partner's money. It could definitely be bringing up topics where, maybe the money is working out, or maybe y'all are gonna have to kind of focus on how are we going to do our money differently, or it could be bringing up is topics around debt and um what is the other word I wanted to use? Inheritance, taxes. You might be coming up with strategies around those. Maybe you paid some debt off. Maybe you paid a tax bill off. Excuse me. Um, Another thing that this house has to do with is grants, scholarships, and fellowships. So maybe you find out that you have gotten one of those. Excuse my voice, it got a little dry. um, yeah, it may bring you're going to apply, or maybe you applied and got one of those. Now, this isn't it's an emotional sign. And so it could be, hey, don't be emotional about it. Just do the practical thing, because all of those planets are over there in um, Capricorn. What's the most practical thing you need to do? We're not doing any scheming, nothing. And don't apply emotionally. Apply strategically with a plan. It's just how it is with Capricorn. And it could bring up some topics around trust, intimacy, sexuality. Maybe, maybe you're just craving more of that. Maybe, it's just how you feel, or there may be some healing. You might need to do some healing in those areas. But definitely take care of yourself, Sag. Take care of yourself. Okay, Capricorn, it is your turn. Okay. So you are one of the signs where big changes could be on the horizon. and Cancer is in your house that has to do with relationships. So this definitely could be revealing something to you. Maybe some of the Capricorns are getting married or stepping into a love relationship. But maybe there's something going on, relationships a little bit off, and you start doing some more introspective work. And it's kind of like, what can I do to, what's my part in this? And how can I improve things? And now this is a house that also has to do with contracts and agreements, legal affairs. So maybe you are going to be, all of the, if you have any of those going on, it brings up those topics. It could be, you have been working to get a contract and you secure it, or maybe some are revealed to you that you can apply for. So it's one or the other. It could be one or the other. This one also wants to look at, are you in balance? Are you out of balance? And maybe it has to do with relationships. Maybe you're kind of out of balance when it comes to relationships. Capricorn can be fixing everything and everybody. And so maybe it's kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to be taking care of everybody else. I'm just going to focus on me a little bit more. Um, so yeah, balance, just balance in general. Do you need more balance? This is a house where you could be refining something. So maybe you get an idea on how to improve something, make it better, make it smoother. And, just it's sort of like the seventh house can upgrade a thing. It can always, just make it just so much better, but it's not clunky. It's smooth, it's graceful, that kind of thing. So that could be coming up. But some new beginning is going to happen for you because you have that those 4 planets in Capricorn, your sign, kicking off new beginnings. And I can tell you, when you get that sun meeting Mars in your sign, baby, the next 2 years are gonna be on and popping for you. So look for that revelation as to what new thing is coming this Capricorn's way. All right, Capricorn. Next is Aquarius. So, Aquarius, this is happening in your 6th house. Now, this could be revealing something about 2 things in particular: job, workplace, okay? Or health and well being. Those 2 areas. It could be you have found a job, or you have been working on something on your job and you have achieved it. It could be something around your health where maybe you've let your emotions have you, skip your workouts, or you're doing emotional eating or something like that. And that is revealed to you and you're like, "Ooh, I've gotta stop that." Or you've been working on it and you're like, "Oh, I've achieved this goal around my health and well-being." This is a house that it wants you to have things decent, in order. It's very practical. And so this is a moon where you could be feeling very practical. You're about the business of creating systems and making things run more smoothly. And it's like, hey, I need to get in my workouts and I need to be planning my meals and prepping them. And it can just really bring in that type of energy. It's a house that has to do with problem solving. And so it could be that you start doing some problem solving. Something comes to you on how to solve the problem, but it might even be something internal, because remember, this is a very internal moon. And it's like, oh, I have found maybe like an emotion that's stuck. And that emotion gets highlighted during this moon. And you're like, I see how this emotion, every time I have this emotion, it takes me deeper into this problem over here. Okay. This is a house that also has to do with pets and charitable giving. So it could be bringing up topics around, your pets, or something with you giving to charity, doing charitable giving, helping somebody who is down on their luck, helping, not expecting anything in return. So yeah, you may not be super emotional. I mean, come on, Aquarius. Aquarius isn't always emotional anyway, but this definitely gets you out of it. So there you go. Last but certainly not least, Pisces. Oh, Pisces, I see you. This is happening in your fifth house, Pisces. Okay, it's another lucky house. So you may have some good luck turn up for you at this full moon, Pisces. Um, yeah, open your hands to receive. This is a house that has to do, it's kind of busy. So let's talk a little bit about it. It has something to do with children. And so it could be something that's highlighted about your children or the children in your life or your childhood. And again, maybe something healing is needed. Um, but it you definitely could be looking within and kind of focus in that way. In terms of like you and your children, I know the way I describe it is there have been times when I'm like, oh my gosh, should I mess up with my kids with this? And it's like, oh my gosh. And we have to work through that, because there's not going to be any perfect parents. So we have to make peace with the things that we do that we think, eek, that may not have been the best thing. This house is also about creativity, gifts, talents, what makes you unique and special. And so definitely just take that in, Pisces. What makes you special? Feel special. Find a way to feel special during this moon. Um, find a way to really connect with your gifts and your talents and your genius, your inner genius. The fifth house is like what your natural genius is. So really connecting with that, with your hobbies and having fun. Maybe this moon is going to help you to have more fun, Pisces. I'm a Pisces. I would think I'm having fun, but man, I really struggle to have fun. So yeah, some of the Pisces might need to be looking at what can you do to have more fun? Maybe you have more fun during this moon. This is the house where you may want to date. It could bring up people maybe who you've dated in the past, or maybe you go out on a date. Doesn't matter if you're married or not. You're dating whoever you're with. Um, it could bring up sex, so you could feel a little extra sexual during this moon. And it is a house that has to do with gambling and risk, and so I will say just be cautious. Be cautious about taking risks during the moon. Maybe get that tip. You might feel like you're getting some tip that comes through, and you weigh it against the plan. Weigh it against the plan. That's what I'm gonna say, Pisces. Yeah, Pisces. Um, but yeah, I think whatever the good luck that comes through, it'll just happen. There's nothing that you've got to try to, you know, fit and make work. I think it will just naturally happen for you, Pisces. Okay. So yeah, enjoy this moon, Pisces. I think you will really like it. It's another water moon. It could really heighten your intuition. It could give you, I mean, like the creative flow that comes through will be incredible. So, yeah, really, really enjoy that, Pisces. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you for being here. I may come back and do an oracle reading, but I don't want to make this video too long. But I do wish you a beautiful full moon in Cancer, and yeah, blessings of the mothers and the ancestors be upon you and yours now and always. And connect with you again when I see you in the next video. Peace and love.